Overt Radio. In case you've just joining us, this is Overt Radio. We are broadcasting to you live from the city of Lagos. You can watch us live. You can watch us on any of our streaming platform after the program. We are currently streaming on Zeno FM on the Zeno platform, zeno.fm/radio/overt radio. /overt radio. Okay, now we are moving gradually to this is the breakfast show. Here is currently we want to start the current affairs. We're going to be taking a look at President Trump's threats on Nigeria following reports of a Christian genocide by some group of international influencers who said that about 3,000 Nigerians were killed in the past couple of years. So as a result of that, Trump on Friday around 7:09 p.m. Nigerian time issued a statement on his Truth Social platform on Friday, that's the 31st of October. According to Trump, he says, and I quote, "Christianity is facing an existential threat in Nigeria. Thousands of Christians are being killed. Radical Islamists are responsible for this mass slaughter. I am hereby making Nigeria a country of particular concern. But that is the least of it. When Christians or any such group is slaughtered like is happening in Nigeria, which is 3,100 versus 4,476 worldwide, something must be done. I am asking Congressman Riley Moore, together with the Chairman Tom Cole and House of Appropriations Committee, to immediately look into this matter and report back to me. The United States cannot stand by while such atrocities are happening in Nigeria and numerous other countries. We stand ready, willing, and able to save our great Christian population around the world," says Donald Trump. And immediately after that statement from Donald Trump, there have been reactions that Friday. The Nigerian government, debunked that statement that there's nothing like a Christian genocide in the country. That the country, that's the federal government, is doing everything possible to ameliorate the situation. And also, less than 24 hours after that statement from Donald Trump again issued another statement. Let me see if I can quickly bring that up. Issued another statement that was on Saturday night. Yeah, that was on Saturday night. He said that if the Nigerian government continues to allow killing of Christians, the USA will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria and may very well go into that now disgraced country. Guns are blazing to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible atrocities. I am hereby instructing our Department of War to prepare for possible action. If we attack, it will be fast, vicious, and swift and sweet, just like the huge terrorist thugs attack our cherished Christians. Warning: the Nigerian government better move fast. There have been response concerning, that statement, that action. Since on Friday, on Saturday, and yesterday, there have been reactions globally from people, from stakeholders who are privy, who have knowledge of what is going on in Nigeria. Ibuku, let me start with you. What's your reaction to this?
Thank you, Kenneth. Thank you. Let's be realistic. You see, the reality on ground, what Donald Trump said is really true. If our leaders out there cannot look for solutions to things that is going through in the country, this insecurity has been happening since 2019, if I'm not wrong. It has been a long while this insecurity has been happening, despite the fact our past leaders and our present leaders has not done anything to it. So if Donald Trump is coming out to say, I can say the tone Donald Trump is using to say it is sounding like a threat, and it is not pleasant to Nigeria. because we have leaders in Nigeria. But what he is saying, it is true, because Christians are being killed. You see churches attacked, you see a lot of people, pastors are attacked. But I just want to say, it is not only Christians that it is been this thing happening in our country. It is not about Christians alone. It is happening to both Christian and Muslim. In a whole, it is happening to our country. You see banditry happening all over, everywhere. But it is happening more. If you look at the population of Christians that are being killed, is more than Muslims that are being killed. The population of Christians, when I was looking at it, let me check here. The population of Christians that are killed. Please hold on, our listeners. Okay, we have 16,769 Christians are killed, while Muslims are 6,235 Muslims.
Where did you get that figure from? Yeah, for the benefit of our listeners, so that.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is Catholic News Agency.
Okay, all right, better.
So this is the figure I got. Look at the population of Christians that were killed. They were more than Muslims. So I want the Christians will have this thoughts that they are more killed than the Muslims, because the population are much. But in total, our country is not safe. In total, there is insecurity in our country. Let's leave religion. We should face our country. Our country, insecurity is affecting our country. So if our leaders cannot look for solution to what is going through, what is going through in our country, the issues in our country, then I can go along with Donald Trump move.
All right, thank you very much, Ibuko, for that opening remark. Well, I want to start first by what the federal government, because this issue started about less than a month ago. Yeah, I think it was the first week of October when this issue started, and it was lingering. Now, the federal government has denied that there is nothing like genocide in the country. Okay, but if you take a critical look at the meaning genocide, the term genocide refers to the intentional and systematic destruction of a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group in whole or in parts. It is one of the most serious crimes under international law. Definition: the United Nations Convention of the Prevention and Punishment of the Criminal of Genocide defines genocide as 1. Any of the following acts committed with intent to destroy in whole or in parts a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group as such. So I think that the federal government saying that there's nothing like genocide in the country will have to go back to their dictionary. That's the government officials. We have to go back to their dictionary to really check the meaning of genocide. It is not here. It is not our position here to say if there have been genocidal attack in Nigeria or not. But it is now left for the federal government to go to really know the meaning of what genocide is, based on what I've read out to you, based on the United Nations Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide. They define genocide as any of the following acts committed with intent to destroy in a whole or in part a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group as such. So on Friday, when President Donald Trump came out with that statement on Truth Social, I said to myself that this is long overdue, because Nigerians have been killed. We are not in a war.
Yes.
This is not the civil war that happened in the 1976 or so. Nigeria is not in a civil war. This is not the Liberian civil war or the Congo civil war. Okay, that's over thousands of people were reportedly killed just because of the insensitivity of our past leaders, particularly the last two administrations that we've had in this country. That of the administration of former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan and the other one, that of the administration of President late Muhammadu Buhari. These two leaders brought us into this mess that we are in at the moment here in Nigeria. They brought us this shame of insecurity. Now, I said to myself, this is long overdue. Now, the question is, yes, it has taken to a religious overtone, but the question that the government officials, the question that leaders in this country should be asking themselves, the question that citizens of Nigeria should be asking ourselves is, should there be killing of Nigerians? Should any Nigerian die because of something or somewhere? Okay, forget about Christians being killed. We are talking about lives here.
Yes.
We are talking about lives. We are not particularly whether Christians have been killed or Muslims have been killed. The most important thing that we should focus on is lives have been lost. Thousands of lives have been lost, and that is what we should be concerned about. Not
yes.
continue.
What is the fast move our leaders are doing? There is no move at all. Before Donald Trump can actually come out to say that statement, it has been a past incident that has been happening.
It has been recurring.
It has been happening. So before he can say that statement, he is giving an issue. Is speaking out on behalf of our leader. What I was expecting, the reaction I got from other leaders, what I was expecting was a positive tone on for citizens that are dying. Not that kind of reaction. Not kind of, because before Donald Trump can say that kind of thing, this kind of thing is what is really happening. It is the reality that is happening in our country.
Well, I while preparing for the program this morning, there are some things I had to put down so I will not forget them. The question should be, why should the government of a 21st century democracy allow some certain kind of people to just wake up in the morning and start killing people, start kidnapping people, and demanding money for their release? This shouldn't be happening. Okay, this shouldn't be happening, because Nigeria is, as far as I'm concerned, Nigeria is a sovereign country. As far as I'm concerned, there are people that we voted into power to protect our lives and property. Okay, so the most important thing is for the government, because of course Trump cannot bring in the military just as he has threatened. Trump can withhold, can suspend every other aid that is coming to the country. But the most important thing is, what lesson are the Nigerian leaders, what are they getting from this threat from Donald Trump? The most important thing is for the president, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and the newly installed security chiefs to sit down and come out with a plan on how to put insecurity to the end, how to put it to a stop. That is the most important thing. The kind of response coming from some officials in the government is not impressive. Yes, there have been denial of genocidal attack in the country, but that is not how to respond to something of this nature. Yes, and the government themselves, they are not, acknowledging that people have died. That is a worrisome thing. That is most worrisome.
They're not concerned about it. They're not even showing empathy at all.
They are not accepting that people have died. The most important thing is, first you accept your fault, you accept the blame. Then after accepting the blame, then you tell the people, this is what we have on ground. On yesterday, when one of the presidential spokesman, Daniel Bwala, came on Twitter and said that the president will meet with the United States according to reports. Daniel Bwala never mentioned that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will meet with the United States government. He never said that. There was nothing like an assurance from Daniel Bwala. If I can quickly go to his tweet, to his message on X yesterday, there was nothing like the federal government will meet with the United States government. Are they supposed to meet with the United States government in the first place? Is the United States government running the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu? These are the pertinent questions that we need to ask ourselves in this country, particularly the leaders. Okay, particularly the leaders. So the earlier for us to sit down and address this insecurity, we'll be having more insult from other governments across outside the country. Prior to the administration of late Muhammadu Buhari, there was nothing like armed bandits. There was nothing like cattle rustling. There was nothing like kidnapping. Okay, kidnapping and cattle rustling and armed banditry, came into existence when President Muhammadu Buhari was in power. Although we've been having traces of those during Goodluck Ebele Jonathan's administration. But these atrocities, these criminal activities became more during the late Muhammadu Buhari's administration. And the former president who is late now, did nothing to address this insecurity. That is why we are having threats from the United States of America. This is a shame to our past leaders. It's a shame to those who we put into office to address the security situation in the country. Okay, it's a shame. So Donald Trump's threats is in order. It's in order for the current administration to wake up, put on their thinking cap, and see how they can address this menace facing the country.
Kenneth, thank you for that.
Yeah.
So when I got Donald Trump comment, what I was expecting from our leaders was what we do next. What is the next move? But the reaction shows that they are not concerned about the lives of those that were killed.
Yeah.
They were just concerned about the statements. How would I say it? They were concerned about the statements Donald Trump made, the comments he made. But that's not the important thing. The important thing is just what's next? What is the next thing we need to do to save lives? Those that are those people that are killing citizens in the country, they should not go unpunished. How can we save our country? How can we save Nigerians? How can we save our citizens in the country? That is what I was expecting from our leaders to do, because that would be a great move for Nigeria. Them bringing out different reactions is not the solution.
All right, now let me take word for word what Daniel Bwala said on Sunday, because I've seen according to some papers here, according to some reports here in our national dailies, particularly the Vanguard, when the Vanguard said that where is that headline again? Okay, yes, Tinubu ahead of orchestrated game season on Aniga. We are preparing. Okay, U.S. envoys protection against insecurity doesn't distinguish religious from. Okay, I'm looking for that statement when. Okay, now this is Daniel Bwala's statement on X yesterday. He said both President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and President Donald Trump have shared interest in the fight against insurgency and all forms of terrorism against humanity. President Trump has assisted Nigeria a lot by authorizing the sale of arms to Nigeria, and President Tinubu has adequately utilized the opportunity in the fight against terrorism, for which we have massive results to show for. As for the differences as to whether terrorists in Nigeria target only Christians or in fact all faiths and no faiths, the difference, if they exist would be discussed and resolved by the two leaders when they meet in the coming days, either in State House or White House. All right, now there have never been an official communication, because if there had been an official communication between the United States government and the Nigerian government and the federal government of Nigeria, I wouldn't think Donald Trump will come out with such threats, because this is just to deceive Nigerians based on what Daniel Bwala had put up yesterday. This tweet was just to deceive Nigerians. You can't tell Nigerians that the two leaders, when they meet in the coming days, either in State House or White House, that's rubbish. This shouldn't be what you are a kind of response from a presidential spokesman, presidential spokesman coming from. I wasn't expecting this kind of rubbish from Daniel Bwala, because the two presidents, they have never had, prior to Donald Trump's threat, have never scheduled a meeting. Maybe there have been a scheduled meeting, but if really the two leaders will meet, Donald Trump shouldn't have issued those two statements on Friday and Saturday. So It is better for us to sit down and stop all these foreign trips, sit down and address the insecurity situation in Nigeria and stop gallivanting around on social media.
We need leaders.
That
value lives beyond politics.
We need leaders that value lives beyond politics.
Yes.
Aside, put aside
Politics.
Christianity,
Yes.
put aside religion. The most important thing is lives have been lost. Nigeria is not in a war that over 3,000 people will be killed within a space of how many years? This is not a civil war. This is not a Biafra war. It is just that some agitated elements in the country took up arms and start killing their fellow humans, and nobody did anything about it. Anything else?
We said it all.
All right. Now, the significance of what Trump said on Friday and Saturday is one. It is a wake-up call to the Tinubu's administration to take insecurity in the country seriously. Maybe the president has been sleeping all this while when it comes to insecurity. Now that we are having external threats from the superpower of this country, it is now the time for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to take insecurity seriously. Now that we have the newly installed service chiefs, we don't know what their plans are to curtail insecurity in the country within the next months. Another thing again is it has created a gap between the US and the Nigerian relations. It has created a gap between the US and the Nigerian relations because of these threats. I hope that the diplomats in Nigeria will find a way to bring back that sweet relationship we've always had with the United States of America. And how they can do that is pressing on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to address the insecurity situation in the country. Nigeria has had enough of this mess in the northeast. In the northeast, some communities cannot wake up, cannot go to bed with their two eyes closed because of insecurity. In the northeast, people can no longer go to the farm to farm. In the northeast, you can't travel safely any longer in the northeast. And some elements in the corridors of power are telling us that the two countries will meet. Where will they meet? Despite the arms that have been supplied to Nigeria in the past, yet insecurity is still an issue in the country that past and current administration have not been able to resolve. Another thing again is that it exposes the weak areas the administration needs to concentrate on, which is insecurity. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu needs to address this as quick as possible before people begin to die like chickens in the street.
Okay, I just want to say this statement. Whether it is Donald Trump or the United States or anybody, what I was expecting was the message should be a challenge for the government to wake up, to do something new, to do something that has been affected, not to start making offensive, not to start making defensive, because in the end the world will only treat us the way we treat our own people.
Exactly.
If our leaders don't treat the people right, they will see us like anyhow. If the leaders treat the people right, treat the country the way it's supposed to be treated, Donald Trump will not bring that kind of treatment.
Yeah. Okay. Now we are still on this particular thing. Yesterday, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's official Twitter X page, came out with a statement saying that, according to the statement, I read, Nigerians stand firmly as a democracy governed by constitutional guarantees of religious liberty. Since 2023, our administration has maintained an open and active engagement with Christian and Muslim leaders alike and continues to address security challenges which affect citizens across faiths and regions. The characterization of Nigeria as religiously intolerant does not reflect in our national reality, nor does it take into consideration the consistent and sincere effort of the government to safeguard freedom and religion and beliefs of all Nigerians. The president said, religious freedom and tolerance have been a core tenet of our collective identity and shall always remain so. Nigeria opposes religious persecution and does not encourage it. Nigeria is a country with constitutional guarantees to protect all citizens of all faiths. Our administration is committed to working with the United States government and the international community to deepen understanding and cooperation on protection of communities of all saints. That's coming from the president. Okay, yeah, the president has said you can't blame Bola Ahmed Tinubu for what is going on now. Like I said earlier in my opening remarks, you can't blame President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for what is going on in Nigeria. You blame the past leaders,
yes,
particularly the Goodluck Ebele Jonathan's administration and that of the former President Muhammadu Buhari, late of administration. Those are the leaders that we're supposed to blame, not President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because the president, I want to believe, is trying his best. But the most important thing is we want the federal government of Nigeria to bring out a formidable plan on how to tackle insecurity in the country. That is the most important thing now. Forget about the economy. In order to avoid this disgrace, in order to avoid this mess coming from President Donald Trump, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Your Excellency, you need to address insecurity in the country. I don't know how you want to do it. Yes, in the new service chiefs were installed on Friday last week. We expected them to outline what they want to achieve in the next coming months and years and weeks. But the new service chiefs, they didn't do that. But what they did was to tell the government what they need from the government.